Thank you very much, Karen, joining us for this interview session. We really appreciate comments coming from you as the President-elect of the IEEE Standards Association.
You're very welcome, Yatin.
Okay.
And everyone else.
So one of the things is IEEE Standards Association has global activities. It's a global organization.
Yes.
So from a global perspective, how do you see the standards education? Do you see that geographically these channels for education are different and should be different, or should they be same, similar?
Yeah, so in my opinion, they should be the same. Global means we all work together, right. And standards mean we all do it the same way. So if we were to somehow have different education programs for standards in different parts of the world, we're somehow fragmenting that education. Right. The processes for developing IEEE standards, for instance, they adhere to the World Trade Organization principles for global standardization. Those are consistent and should be across all countries and all cultures. So I believe that they should be the same.
Right, but in terms of their marketplace and their technical activities, are they at different levels of maturity, and should that be different?
Well, certainly the economies are at different levels of maturity, and some are emerging and some are more mature. But when it comes to a standard, I still think
it's
that
a global standard,
it's a global standard.
And it should be learned the same way.
Right, because there's no such thing as doing a standard a little bit,
right,
and then later doing it better. You want to do it right the first time. Okay. And so I think teaching everyone the proper way of creating standards and the proper way of implementing them and making sure that their products are compliant should be consistent across the globe.
So that's a great segue into my next question, which is what advice would you offer to students and recent graduates about standards education?
So my advice to anyone who is specifically in the technical field, science, technology, engineering, math, is remember the business aspect of what you're going to be doing for a living. And keep in mind that part of that has to do with standards. And I would encourage people to also pay more attention. So when they plug in things, and when they go to places that have Wi-Fi hotspots, think about where did Wi-Fi come from and why are we all using this in the first place? Oh, it's a standard. It comes from right. the IEEE. So just raise that awareness because it makes you as a student just a little more broad exposure and a little more worldly as you graduate and right. become one of us. Eventually,
there you
if
go.
You want to.
The words of wisdom from IEEE Standards Association President-elect Karen Bartleson. Thank you very much, Karen. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah.